Welcome to April and Debbie Dish the Truth on Weight Loss, where we share the raw, real, and sometimes messy truth about our weight loss journeys.
I am Debbie, a weight loss coach who has lost 100 pounds and have been living my life in maintenance 4 years later.
And I'm April, a weight loss coach, currently down 60 pounds and continuing my weight loss journey.
Together, we'll explore the ups, downs, and everything in between as you make your journey to weight loss.
Yep. And this week we're talking about I've gained weight. Why do I keep trying? Why do we keep trying? Why, Debbie? Why?
Why? We had April and I have talked about this with you all that we talk before our podcast starts, and we were talking and talking and talking. And I'm like, this is such a good thing to talk about on the podcast. So 20 pounds, 15 pounds, 10 pounds. How many
Mhm.
times have we heard people say that? Oh my God, I've gained this. And then we're like, would you just be quiet? That's nothing.
Mhm.
But April and I are here to tell you what it relates to for us. So, April,
Mhm.
you're 20 pounds. What have you noticed? If you took away that number and you just knew you were up, what
Mhm.
have you noticed about your body that has changed and about your life?
So there's quite a bit. And what happened when we were talking before the podcast, I'll share, is that, and what is the realization of what a weight gain can mean when you're in tune with your body. So I have weighed 300 plus pounds since my 20s. So for a very large time, I was actively always trying to lose weight. I was in Weight Watchers, or mostly Weight Watchers is what I would do. But and I would lose, I would gain more than what I lost, that whole cycle. I never was in tune with my body when I was losing weight at that time in my life. So I never noticed the differences. And when you talked about when people who are at a lower weight than I ever was and would be like, "Oh, I've gained 10 pounds. I feel so this. I feel so bloated. I feel so tired." And I would just look at them because I was like 300. I'm like, "But you weigh 170. Like, you're fine."
Right, right.
But they weren't fine because they were in tune with their bodies and they knew they did not feel good. So now that I've lost 60 pounds and I weigh less, but I lost that 60 in tune with my body, learning what felt good, what didn't feel good. And as I was losing it, I also was noticing how I was feeling better and how I was having more energy, even at still a larger size, because I was moving more and I was eating healthier foods that made my body feel better. So when I've gained this year, 20, I can feel it. And it gave me such a different appreciation for those who are at a smaller weight trying to lose 10 pounds, because for them, they noticed that they're more tired because they know how their body felt without that extra weight. So it's all variable to wherever you are in your journey. And for me, the 20, when I do my walks, I can feel it takes more energy. I still do them, and I'm still moving far better than I did when I was at my highest before I had started moving at all. But I can see the difference. I can see that because I'm eating more than my body needs, I can see that I have more indigestion sometimes. I burp more, or I'm tired more. My body doesn't move as easy. All these things that I was not in tune with, like, in my 20s and 30s, right?
Yeah.
Before I actually started to pay attention to my body. So what I've learned is that regardless of what the number says, it's really, really so important to really pay attention after you eat something, how you're feeling. So if you're eating, say you're eating at work, your lunch, and you have, I don't know, a muffin. People eat muffins for lunch. I don't know. Say you have a muffin
Muffins are good.
and then you want a nap. If you are just thinking, I've had a stressful day, so I'm tired, and not really thinking, hey, for lunch, I had a really high sugar meal that didn't give me any protein or any fiber or anything that keeps my body energized, then you're kind of just going through the motions of the day. So, but if you are in tune with, hey, that muffin made me feel tired, maybe tomorrow I'll try to just eat half the muffin and pair it with some fish or chicken or whatever proteins you like. It doesn't matter if you're tofu, whatever it is, but and some vegetables. Like make that your carb for your meal if you want, or your simple carb, because there's all different kinds of carbs, but there's nutritionally ways to eat things you want to eat and still feel good after, but it's a learning process. Make notes. I had this, I felt this after. If you're feeling tired within an hour of eating, then most likely what you ate probably didn't help you for your function of your body.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Mhm.
I think that that is such a good thing to point out because so often when we lose weight, we're just focused on getting that number down. We don't notice the
Mhm.
changes that are going
Yeah.
on in our body, and like our body is just like it's like a computer just generating, telling you what I need. This is what I need. And
Mhm.
for my weight gain and why I am continuing to keep on trying to lose that weight, like for some people, I haven't weighed myself in over a month. I don't know how much I weigh. I will tell you all, I really want to scale because I would like to know. Like, and I don't even know the real reason I want to know. Like, I just want to know the number. I just do.
Yeah.
But I also know the differences in my body. So I know that this weight gain has come from eating a lot of sugar. I have been soothing some emotional pain with cookies, lots of cookies. And here's what I will tell you about eating all those cookies. While they taste yummy, my legs, my knees, my feet, my hands are like flaring with arthritis. And my middle finger on this hand will, like, it gets stuck. And I have to pop it out. And that has become much more frequent since I have been eating all of this sugar. I know that when I eat all that sugar, I feel so happy and so high and then crash, right? And I don't want to feel that. I want to feel a consistent energy in my body that isn't spike and then down and spike and down because it doesn't feel good. And I also know like I am completely overeating and that doesn't feel good in my
Mhm.
body. So like all these things that don't feel good in my body are a result. They have all helped me gain the weight that I have, but they haven't solved the emotional problems I've been trying to solve by eating all those things. So,
Mhm.
I want to keep trying because my body wants me to. My body is saying, I'm hurting. I'm hurting with this weight.
Mhm.
Can we stop the sugar? Can we, maybe walk a little bit more, drink some more water? Oh, I am so happy to report all week, except for yesterday. Today's, I have drank more than 64 ounces of water, and my body has appreciated it so much. But, we see those things in my negative self talk that has slipped right back in with that weight gain. Like, just like an old pair of shoes, right? Like, oh,
Mhm.
I remember this. And I don't want that. I don't want to beat myself up. And I don't want to beat myself up if I were to go back to my original weight when I started this weight loss journey. I don't want to beat myself at maintenance. I don't want to beat myself up where I am now. I want to continue to my weight loss and life journey how I want to without emotionally eating, without feeling the arthritis flare because of
Mhm.
the sugar. And I want to be nice to myself. And that's why I keep trying.
I think that's such a why we keep trying, and it's such an individual story and reason, but I think we all have in common is why do we keep trying? Because otherwise you're just complacent. And it's when you keep trying in your life, it's living. It's not even just only about weight loss. It's about you keep trying to learn how to draw or ride a bike or learn your multiplication tables back in school or whatever, or something at your job. You're trying to learn a new skill. That is living, is to keep trying. If you give up trying, then you're just missing out on bettering yourself and enjoying your life more and getting to a better place where you can do all the things you truly want to do instead of letting things hold you back. Right. So I know, especially for me as being a larger person, I get into my head a lot like, oh, too big for that, or oh, what's the weight limit for that? Or I don't want that to be my whole life story. I am not 20, but I'm not 90. So I
Right.
still have life to live. And as long as I keep trying, I will figure out what works for me and get to a point in my life where that is not a concern. That is my ultimate goal, that I can just do with the things I want to do without those questions popping up in my head.
Can I tell you, I think that you have just coined the best phrase ever. Like,
Oh,
I'm not going to keep trying. I'm going to keep living, and I'm going to keep living the life that I want to create for myself now and in the future. Because I think
mhm.
for like, we talk about words that impact us, like that are negative. Like, if someone's going to critique me or criticize me, oh, I don't like that. You know what I mean? And but if I and some people don't like trying because trying leads, like they always think, oh, I'm going to try and I'm going to fail. But if I'm going to keep living my life to be the life that I want to create for myself, like we're living. You know what I mean? And I just think that's so powerful, April. So thank you for that.
Right.
And I also think, and I mentioned this to you before, and I want to share this with everybody. Becoming April talked about, she became more in tune with how her body feels as she went down the scale. Well, I
Mhm.
lost my 100 pounds, not really in tune with how my body felt.
Mm.
I am that person. And in my friendship with April, she has taught me so much about being in touch with my body. Like last year, before I knew April, I would eat a dozen cookies, my body would hurt, and I'd be like, oh, I wonder, I must have worked out. I didn't work out at all that day, but it must be leftover pain from a workout, right? Or,
Right.
like all these things that if you don't know about them, you don't pay attention. And I think getting to know our bodies and what is in, like April said, like writing down, I ate this for lunch. I didn't feel great 2 hours later. Why? That is, again, it comes back to being scientists of our bodies, the scientist of our life, and knowing. And it's not because, like, it's not that much work. Like people say, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. It's not. I ate cookies, my body hurts. Oh, cookies may not be good, or sugar may not be good in my body. Like, it's a realization that we have to be willing to look, find out what is and isn't, and then make the decision of how we move forward. So for me, I ate some ice cream about a month ago, and I think a lot of people had told me that maybe ice cream doesn't agree with me, but I wasn't ready to believe that yet.
Mhm.
And I ate ice cream and I got sick, and I now believe it, and I have not had ice cream since. But just because you're not in tune with your body, I'm 56 years old, and I have been getting sick eating ice cream for more years than I can count.
Mm.
But when you're ready to be honest and look at it, I mean, it will, like, that realization will move me forward so much, not so much in weight loss, but just in how I feel. And like every choice, everything that we learn doesn't have to be ultimately connected to weight loss. It's connected to feeling better in our bodies, no
Mhm.
matter what weight we are at.
Absolutely. And for me, I know, and as you learn and you try things, and I know when I get outside, I'm just in a better place mentally for the day. So fitting in walking in the morning is big. So, and I may have talked about this before, but I kept trying to get up during the winter last year to walk at home before work. So I would get up at like 5 in the morning and it was super dark, it was super cold, and I just wasn't doing it. And this year I was like, okay, what can I do different? And I thought about it and I looked at my day, and you talk about it's work. People do say that. I've said that. You've said, I'm sure we
I've
all have
said it.
said
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
But but it is an effort that you have to make for yourself. That is true. And it's also a choice, right? We can say, I don't want to do the work. That's fine. Or when somebody looks at what somebody else is doing, like me counting calories or weighing, that's too much. I wouldn't want to do that for the rest of my life. That's absolutely fine. Just look at what you do want to do for the rest of your life. If you have goals that you want to meet, whether it's counting calories, whether it's keto, whether it's fasting, whether it's tuning into your hunger levels and paying attention to when you're at enough versus, too full, whatever avenue you're taking, there's going to be an effort that's needed to be made. It's
Mhm.
just finding the effort that you're willing to do, right?
Yeah.
So when I was looking at my walking and I didn't want to make the effort to get up at 5 a.m. and be freezing and in the dark because I get nervous walking in the dark. I
Yeah.
tried and it wasn't feeling good. I wasn't enjoying it as much. So I looked at my day. What can I do? Okay, I can leave my house a little earlier to get to work earlier and walk near my job. Because by the time I get to, say, I get to work for 7, then I have a half hour, 45 minutes that I can walk in that area when it's light out and I'm feeling comfortable. And it's still going to be cold because it's
Yeah.
winter,
Right. Yeah.
but it's not going to be as cold and dark as 5 a.m. is. So that was the trade-off. And I started to do that. And that's been great. I mean, it's only October, so it's not winter, but that's my goal to do that is to walk before work and I walk at lunch as well. But yes, it's work. I'm not going to say it's not. It's an
Yeah.
effort, just like it's an effort when you're at your job, but you get a paycheck. So you want to make that effort. You want to do that work. So whatever you're trying to learn to do, again, be it weight loss or a new skill, a new language, whatever your goal is, there's going to be work involved. But tell yourself, I'm choosing to do this work instead of I have to. Again, it's all wordplay for your brain, but it makes a difference. I'm choosing to get to work earlier so I can have my outside time in the light and enjoy it again. And it's working.
And I think that is so great. And it's Kevin and I had this conversation this week because as we have internet now, but we have moved into an RV and this is going to be our living and we're living on an island here in Lake Havasu. And it's really cool because we can see the city, but on the island, it's a 4 mile loop ish and it's a lot of open space. But we love going out and riding around the island at night after dinner. But it's getting dark now and there's
Mm.
coyotes, a lot of coyotes on this island. So I don't want to be riding in the dark. So Kevin and I talked about how we can change our day. So we are now going to have our big meal be at my lunchtime at work. That will give us time when I get out of work that we can go and do what we enjoy. I mean, that I know
So
I
proud of
forgot to
you.
tell you that. I mean, because we are really enjoying it. And then we talk a lot about the things that we want to do for the rest of our lives. Like you mentioned, people may say, I don't want to count calories for the rest of my life. Re- And, I was taught, oh, you need a weight loss program that will fit into your life for the rest of your life. And that's why you should do X, Y, and Z. Well, I'm 56. I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life in most areas of my life. So having the flexibility, if counting calories and if counting calories is working for you now, if my fitness pal is working for me, like it's what's working for me right now. I can level up or change or however you want to phrase it at different times, different things fit better into our lives.
Yes, I agree with that as well. And the thing too, specifically, I can speak about calorie counting because that's what I'm doing. But it is when you say you have to do it for the rest of your life, it doesn't always look necessarily the same version of
Right.
that, right? So when you're doing this specifically, like I said, I can talk on the specifics. This is what I'm using right now. Pay attention while you're doing it. right? Look at the numbers, what they're adding up to. You're going to get a gauge. Like I kind of already know when I'm within my calories and when I've gone without even entering it because I'm paying attention while I'm doing it. Don't, whatever you choose to do, do it mindfully. Be a part of the experience. Don't just mindlessly put it in and not look at it. Just like when you're learning, I said, a new language or you're learning a math skill, you're practicing. There's practice, 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 right?
Yeah.
But by the end of the practice, you can say a sentence in another language without thinking about it. It just comes naturally. You're learning a new language. You're learning the what feels good, how much you need of something. And then the goal for me anyway, the end goal is to get to a point where maybe I don't have to necessarily do it so detailed all the time because I'll be more in tune with what things are, what feels good already, and balancing my day naturally and in tune with my body, more intuitive eating concept. But there's practice before that. There's skills you have to build before that. These are kind of like the bumpers in bowling, you know, when they fill up the bumpers so you don't get gutter
Yeah,
balls,
yeah, yeah,
no
yeah.
matter how you throw the ball. It's kind of like that. It's just training wheels to get to a point. But if you're doing it not intentionally and paying attention, then you won't be learning a skill, right?
Hmm.
I could repeat a word a gazillion times, but if I'm not actually thinking about it and paying attention to what that word means, I'm not going to know what it means in another month. It's not going to matter. You have to pay attention and interpret it in your brain at the same time, right?
And 100%. And I think that we all, like, if we embrace that, whether you're doing Weight Watchers, My Fitness Pal, keto, Jenny Craig, whatever you're doing, they are learning opportunities. Like, if you are learning and really, I know you said it better, April, but being in tune with what you're putting into practice, you're
Mm.
going to know how to do it and you're not going to need those things. You can always, it's like going to college. You get all these books, you learn, you learn, you learn. You can go back for reference, but the goal is you take those lessons to carry you through your living your life. So be aware of whatever you're doing to lose your weight or to keep living and keep going after that weight loss. Learn from what you're living, learn from those things, and how can they move you forward. And you know what, you may not need to do it for the rest of your life because you've learned it. So just embrace the now and what's moving you forward now and pay attention.
Absolutely. For whatever reason, when you were talking to, I was thinking of like people who learn how to dance. I've never been that person, but you're taking
Me
a
either.
ballet or jazz or whatever dance, like so much practice. But if a person shows up to dance class and they're just going through the motions, it's not becoming a part of who they are. It's not going to inherently just happen for them. But a dancer who really becomes one with the music and moves their body and feels their body and how their body moves and what gets them to the position they have to be in, it's becoming part of who they are. So it's going to become second nature. It's when you show up intentionally and mindfully with whatever you're trying to learn, it's going to become a part of you and become second nature versus just going through the motions, just getting it done to pass the test and moving on. Very different experiences to learning.
Okay, I'm just going to say this because there's not much more I can add to this podcast. That was another mic drop moment, April, in my opinion, because you're like, I could envision the dancer who had embraced all that she had learned to make her the dancer that she was, right? There's
Mhm.
power in having embraced that. And, it's, yeah, you said it so beautifully. If you didn't catch it the first time, go back and listen to it because you want to be that dancer. We all want to be that dancer that takes everything we've learned and everything that we're learning to create that beautiful life, whatever it is that we want,
Mhm.
whatever that goal is. Thank you for
Yeah.
that, April.
Oh,
Love
thanks.
that. So
All right.
anyway, that's why I'm going to keep trying. I said yesterday after I finished my second box of 10 giant almond joy cookies this week that I am not buying cookies today, and not as a form of punishment or restriction, but as a you're welcome to my body, that I no longer want to feel so much pain in my body because I'm ignoring her. So, and you know what? That choice will lead to other choices that will lead to other choices that will I will learn from and I will see results in.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. This has been such a great discussion. And as always, we invite anybody to send us an email at April and Debbie dish the truth at gmail.com or on our Facebook page, same name, April and Debbie dish the truth. Please write in. Please check out the Facebook posts that we post daily, on Tuesday through Friday usually.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, so and just reach out. Anything that you have a question about what we said, or if you have your own individual question that you're struggling with, or just want some more how we handle something, let us know.
Yes. And from my heart to your journey, keep blooming.
And as always, wake up willing to do something that feels good to you.
Have a great day.
Bye.